So once again, welcome to my YouTube channel. Thank you for being here today for another episode. So today we are talking to Miss Alycia Clarke. And as usual, we just get into the conversation. There is just being able to speak to a lot of women. I know one of the things I always talk about is collaboration. And I want to be a person who really opens it up for other women who are out here in business to have platforms so that we can actually come together and just being able to collaborate, talk about each other's businesses, support one another. Because what we know for sure is we can't do it alone. When you're starting your entrepreneur journey, like I talk about a lot of times, it can be lonely, but what we have to understand is we should not be doing it alone. And what does that mean? That means that we all have to come together and see how we can leverage each other's products and services, our strengths and our weaknesses. And that's how we can grow. We can grow from learning with each other. And I think that's very, very key for us in this industry to be able to say, hey, what are you doing? How can I actually help you? Is there something that I can do to be of service to you? How can we help each other in this quest for our next level? Because entrepreneurship, let me tell you, and we'll get into this whole discussion where, it's a journey. It's not something where you see on Instagram, you see on Facebook where everybody's just shining, right? On these platforms, everybody just making it. They have already gotten their expensive cars, their, $1 million homes, and they're flying all over the place. But what we know is I like to get down to the real, because in reality, it takes a while to build a business. And you'll hear from a lot of, and I'm pretty sure you've heard already from a lot of people who've been in the industry, that it's not an overnight thing. And if you are an overnight success, a lot of times you don't maintain, you're not here for the long run because you haven't learned the principles that go into maintaining a business. And that's what we are on a quest to do. So today I have Miss Alycia Clarke here. So we're just going to get down to talking. Welcome, Miss Alycia Clarke. How are you, dear?
I'm well. Thanks for having me.
Awesome. So, the first thing we want to do is, you guys all know me. Well, let me introduce myself again, because sometimes I get some new people on my channel that I haven't met. You haven't seen me. Maybe this is your first time watching one of my YouTube videos. So I'm Tanya, and I'm a life coach. And I help women who are wanting to leave out of that corporate space and start their own businesses. And either they just don't know how to start, they don't know where to start, or they just don't know what they want to do. Or maybe they already have started, they've already come out of their corporate space, and now they are kind of finding that struggle, like I was talking about before, of you out here and you're just feeling like you're just alone. So I help you build your brand, build your marketing so that you can elevate, you can take your business and take it to the next level and sustain it along the way. And I also help women who've gone through traumatic relationships and they've come out and they're ready to take that next step to build their businesses. So that's what I do. I'm Tanya Robinson, the life coach. So Miss Alycia, I'm going to hand it over to you because I'll talk forever. And just tell us who is Alycia Clarke? Introduce yourself. Tell us who you are.
Okay, so Alycia Clarke is the owner and founder of Sweetest Brown Sugar Scrubs. It's an all-natural organic sugar scrub that is infused with essential oils, but it's not just any essential oils, it's with doTERRA. So anybody that is an oil head or knows anything about the doTERRA brand knows that doTERRA is 100% certified pure therapeutic grade oil. Mm-hmm. So no zhuzh, like
no zhuzh,
pure.
Right.
The way that they collect the resin, the whole distillery process, is one of the 2 top essential oils on the market in the country. So I can't promote a all natural organic product and then put trash oils with toxins in it. So my journey started when I got diagnosed with adult asthma back in 2019, and I just cleaned house with all kind of stuff, cleaning products and things. And then I looked at my things I use for self-care. Still a girly girl, like self-care. I like my baths. I like, being exfoliated and moisturized. But that stuff it was a trigger for me. So I had to make some hard decisions. So being a doTERRA oil head, I would just kind of play around with the scents. I would kind of put some stuff together and give them away as gifts. And Sweetest Brown Sugar was made. So I like the brown sugar because I feel like brown sugar is less abrasive on the skin, and the other natural oils that I infuse with my product along with doTERRA helps loosen and soften the oil so that you're getting an exfoliating and moisturizing experience. And people forget when you exfoliate, you have to moisturize. You are taking off a layer of your skin, right? You have to come back in and get that moisture in. It's the only skin we have. We need to take care of it. We need to protect it. And it's really, I don't call it a passion project. It is my passion, but I don't call it a passion product because I have been promoting self-care and skincare. They go hand in hand, right?
Absolutely.
And a lot of people think that you have to have a special occasion, you have to be going somewhere special, you have to have a special time designated for it, and you don't, especially with my product. You could do a scrub, you could do a simple hand scrub. It could be 7 seconds, it could be 17 minutes, you know, but sometimes just doing those little things for ourselves just really, you know, grounds us. It starts our day off well, or it ends our day on a high note. So
absolutely.
And then the oils, because of the purity of doTERRA oil, those particular oils that I infuse them with, the different scents have different health benefits and healing benefits as well. So.
Yeah. And actually, before you get into that, because I think that's really essential. As we're out here and people are purchasing oils, like most times we purchase them over the counter, you know, we really don't understand when someone says, you know, I need an oil, the first thing they do is they'll probably go to their local store and ask for an oil. And what I experienced one time was I used to always say I was allergic to lavender. Lavender oil, whenever I used lavender oil, I would get allergic reaction. My tongue would start, I mean, you get this little itching sensation.
And where were you getting it at?
That's the thing. Exactly. Yeah. And when you said doTERRA, was because I went and someone had informed me that, hey, try this lavender oil because it's more natural. So let's talk about that, because I know that that's the difference that some people see between the oils. Like, how do you know, like, what is it about doTERRA compared to others that you have seen that makes this one of the better oils out there?
Well, from using it in my everyday life, and when I say using it, I mean I use it from allergies, for anxiety. I infuse it, I ingest it, I bake with it, I cook with it. I would not promote any other oils that you are skimping on and thinking you're saving money at. Please don't. Please don't, because I promise you they are toxic. It is the way doTERRA has a whole series of videos pretty much on every oil that they have of how that oil is derived, the origin and what it takes for them to actually secrete that resin, you know, like, okay, for instance, lemon oil. I use it for detox purposes, put it in my water, I bake with it, all kinds of stuff, cleaning. I believe they said it takes 7 pounds of lemons to make a 15 milliliter bottle of the lemon oil that doTERRA has.
And that's interesting because
of the purity.
Yeah, because, you know, I purchased other oils where it was only topical, like don't ingest it.
No, I wouldn't ingest anything outside of doTERRA or Young Living, right? And I am a wellness advocate for doTERRA, but this is not doTERRA's plug. I just happen to be able to vouch for their product because I've used it in so many different various aspects of my life. So I definitely plug the benefits of the oil without necessarily plugging the company. But because I infuse my product with it, I just want people to know that just bet that what you put on, well, first of all, you should know that what you put on your skin goes into your body. It seeps into your bloodstream, it seeps into your body. So I want my consumers to know that, rest assured, again, 100% certified pure therapeutic grade oils. And and not only that, but these other oils that you're getting at these other places, they can't claim, it would be illegal for them to claim that. So I always encourage people, do your research.
Absolutely.
Don't skimp like, I can get this for $10.
Okay, you get what you pay for, right?
Frankincense for $10. Okay. If you break out in half,
that's an expensive one.
It's a very expensive one. So, but people think, oh, I'll save a little money. You can if you want, get what you pay for. But just know that you're not really, you may be doing more harm than good.
So you said that you started because you, it was asthma that started for you. So what was it about creating the sweetest brown sugar that helped you with your asthma and everything?
So for the self-care aspect of it, getting rid of Bath and Body Works, which I spent hundreds, like most of us females, I spent hundreds of maybe thousands of dollars on Bath and Body Works.
We can live in Bath and Body Works, right?
Over the years, right? we do it for the aromatherapy, or so we think.
Mm-hmm.
But again, just as you put things on your skin, it seeps into your body,
Mm-hmm.
inhaling it will also do the same thing. It's getting into your system. So inhaling that stuff that smells good, how do you think they get it to smell good? It's not natural.
All the additives that are in
the
there.
parabens, the toxins.
Yeah.
So from a self-care standpoint, I still wanted to do that for myself, but I did not want to trigger my asthma and self-sabotage, basically.
Okay.
So from, just having that stuff around, having it in my presence, the lotions and even their scrubs. I used to love the smells, but now that I think about it.
Me too. And sometimes I go in there just for the smells, but I had to be more conscious because I have a lot of eczema.
Yeah.
And for me, it's like the slightest thing and I have an outbreak, but I realized that since I've been using your scrub, I can use it on those areas that were really, really triggering for me now. And I don't have those outbreaks. So that was really good. That's why one of the reasons why I like your scrub.
And that's the purity of it, right? So like I said, and I'm not here to bash some of these other,
absolutely not.
companies or so. For me. Howsoever, just make informed decisions, people. Think about it. If it's what's the saying? If it seems too good to be true, 9 times out of 10 it is.
Right.
So just think about it. And those that are really trying to achieve a more holistic lifestyle from what they put in their body and on their body will do that research to make a more informed decision.
Gotcha.
So like I said, I'm not here to plug doTERRA. However, they've convinced me. They've convinced me, and I wouldn't use any other product except for doTERRA or Young Living, which doTERRA is a spinoff of, I believe, Young Living. I wouldn't use any of those other products.
Interesting.
Scrub,
So how long have you been in this space of creating these oils and putting them out there on the market?
So I don't actually create the oils. I just use the oils.
Well, for your sweetest brown sugar product that you use.
Just infusing it. So I started with I initially launched in 2019. And it was, it was a slow start. I was trying to, navigate through that entrepreneurial space and, little trial and error here, there, and the other. 2020, we all know what happened in 2020,
absolutely.
Right? And a lot of my business at the time was derived by doing like pop-up shops and vendor events because my website wasn't up. So that kind of went stagnant, So then I relaunched and I had customers come in, you have any more? I sold out of my inventory and I was like, no, not yet.
But do you think that you need it? Because it sounds like you didn't really need a website because you were out and about and getting clients in that manner.
That was pre-COVID. That was pre-COVID. Okay. That was my exposure before pre-COVID. But then,
so pre-COVID, you were good getting out there into the market.
It was a process. It was a process. I would have loved to have done better. I think the website absolutely helped with exposure, but also word of mouth. Word of mouth is key for small businesses. If you go to somebody and they give you a recommendation on something and you trust that person's opinion, the word is good as gold.
The word is good.
So it was the exposure. So I am so grateful for my return customers. Thank you. You were also a return customer.
Yes, I am.
And they spread the word, but when COVID happened and the world shut down, there wasn't events happening. And then when it slowly started to trickle back up, uptick, people were still apprehensive of getting into crowds.
Yes.
So
absolutely.
So 2021, I came back around. Thankfully, my branding and everything still worked, and I still liked how that looked aesthetically and things like that. So I was like, well, let's give this another shot. And I had some aggressive goals for 2021. I met them. With the website, which actually helped because the weekend that I launched my website, I had an event, but I couldn't do my event because I got COVID. So
wow.
I made
sorry
up.
To hear that.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
It was challenging,
I'm
but
sure.
Again, doTERRA to the rescue, diffusing all of the stuff that gets all the ick out of the air and keeping myself in a holistic space and putting the good stuff in my body so my body could heal. Helped.
Yeah.
But with the website being up, I made back probably 80% of what I would have gotten at it,
That's good.
Right.
Okay.
So
that's pretty good.
Right. I was happy about that. So that was a testament to what I wanted the website to do for me. Also, my trademark is pending, which I'm very proud about because I've listened to a lot of podcasts and I appreciate and recognize the importance of having yourself protected.
Absolutely.
And for those that don't know, it's not just enough to have yourself registered in the state that you're in, because somebody in another state could see all of the hard work that you did with putting your branding together and be like, that's cute. Yank.
Yeah.
They could trademark it and then send you a letter of cease and desist. So I think it's really important for people to be informed about how to protect themselves and their brand.
Well, that's a good segue, because that's one of the questions I wanted to ask you is, for someone who wants to get into the space of entrepreneurship, creating a product, and like, what are some of your tips to give someone who wants to start out in that you've learned along the way that you might want to pass on to someone?
Start with, registering yourself with the state. Make sure you have your tax ID. Get you, if you don't know how to do it yourself, I also heard in a podcast, which I also believe it's true, like there's not a lot of us that are jacks of all trades. So if it's something that you don't excel in, find somebody who does.
Absolutely.
Pay the money, or do the research and price shop. But pay somebody who does, somebody that can see your vision and execute it. Thankfully, I had such a person on my team, and people really, I love what he did, with my branding. He absolutely understood the assignment. And I haven't had to do any tweaks to it since he's done it. And that was almost 3 years ago, right?
And that's really key, because a lot of times people come into the entrepreneur space and they're hesitant to ask for help. And then when they do actually ask for help, they're hesitant when someone tells them the price, because they automatically assume that I have this relationship with someone, so they're going to cut me a break, or but no.
Keep your personal and your business,
Absolutely.
right? So this is somebody that I know personally, but it was all strictly business. And we handled each other from a business aspect, but also what you put into it is what you get out of it. So create a budget of what you realistically, and you may have to fund yourself personally. You may have somebody that believes in your dream or believes in your vision and wants to help you out. That's fine too. But just know that things aren't going to necessarily be thrown into your lap. Very rarely does that happen.
Absolutely.
But from the branding aspect, that's important because it identifies you as a small business owner. It tells the world, it speaks to what you're doing, and it defines you. So you have to think about what you want to represent you as a business owner.
Absolutely.
And then again, find somebody that can help execute that for you. And if you have that creative talent yourself, even better. But not all of us do. I did not. So I had to pay for it. But it was money well spent.
Absolutely.
It was money well spent.
Absolutely. And that's how you grow yourself as you're out there, right? Because you start making these connections with different people that weren't in your space from the beginning. And now you have a new connection. Now you have someone that they've worked with you, they've seen your work, and it's now you have that person in your network that they can say, hey, you know what? I know somebody who does brown sugar scrubs. Let me tell you about that person because I work with them. So it's about make sure you build those relationships as well.
Sure. Not only that, but if you want to represent yourself as a professional, you have to have a professional look, The other thing that I would say is looking to getting a domain. Gmail's cute, Yahoo's cute, but why not such and such dot and then your network? So for instance, GoDaddy, is a great resource. So Alycia Clarke, sponsored.com.
Right.
That looks a lot more professional than Alycia Clarke at Gmail.
Absolutely.
So think about how seriously you want to be taken, as when it comes to building your business and creating exposure. When people see that you've put in that work, they may take you just that more, a little more serious because they're like, well, she about her business.
Absolutely. And I always say, I did a post on this today, and then, when we talk about branding a lot of times, the first thing people think of when they say branding is colors and logos and that, which is good. It's one of the aspects. But what I define as branding is how you want to be spoken of when you're not around. It's that conversation that you want somebody to have about you when you're not actually present. And it's the impact that you want to leave on someone as well when you're not around. So that when that conversation or that business venture is coming up, they can say, hey, I know so-and-so. So building your brand is about how you actually want to show up in the market, like Alicia's saying, how do you want to convey yourself, the professionalism that you want to bring to the market? And that's so much more than once you have that, Then the colors come, the logo is defined, because then you know how you want to say your tagline, all that will come. Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things, especially coming from that employee to entrepreneur space, because as an employee, that's not something that we think about. We should. And that was another post that I did on my Instagram about building your last name. We should, but we're not taught that. We're not taught that build that brand. So one of the things, so I wanted to ask you, because as we kind of wrap this up, we don't, one of the things I want to ask you, like, you know, there's a lot of people who want to create their own line of, you know, products or whatever, you know, maybe they want to do a scrub line. Maybe they want to do a bath, you know, body scrub, or like yours, or, you know, the body butters or whatever that they want to do, but they're really apprehensive. They're really scared to do it. What would you say to that person who is on the fence and they want to do it, but they haven't done it, and it's just like they just don't know what to do? What would you say to that person?
What I would say to that person is don't head and dive into the deep end until you're ready. So if you're apprehensive about launching or starting something, start small. Play around with recipes, you know, do things for yourself, you know, make it for yourself, give some as gifts. Say, hey, listen, I'm gonna give you this gift, but I'm gonna need a little feedback, you know, listen, and then listen to what people are saying to you about what could be tweaked when it comes to texture and smell and color and things like that. And then as that comes, hopefully you'll build your confidence. But you want it to be something you're passionate about, because when you're passionate about it, that's going to be your drive. That's going to be your motivating force when you don't think that you're getting the support that you should be getting, when it doesn't seem like the money is there to fund some of your projects, when, you know, you don't think you're getting exposure, when, you know, social media is challenging.
Throw in the towel.
Yeah, exactly. You need motivation and like, no, I have a good product. It is then up to you to convince other people, and that now will help motivate you to produce and manufacture a better product. But, you know, tap into people that are there to support you, you know, and who doesn't want free stuff?
Absolutely. You know? So, and that's key, especially when you're starting out, is to test it. Because you might have an idea and it's a great idea, but the market may be expecting something a little bit different, because your business is not about you, it's about your customer. So that's a really good point of start small. Start with what you know, start with what you have. You don't have to go out there and purchase all this extra, you know, start with what you have and work in your network that you have as well.
Sure. I agree with that. The other thing I was thinking about was think about how you can make your product stand out, you know, especially when it comes to the skincare aspect of things. There's so much stuff out there, right? So for me, infusing my sugar scrub with essential oils, especially doTERRA, was key, because there's still a ton of people that don't know what or who doTERRA is, but those that get it. So they know, oh, there's doTERRA in this. Okay, check. You know, you want to stand out because you have to making a name for yourself. You want people to remember you.
Absolutely.
You know?
It goes back to your brand.
Exactly. So before somebody goes and tries to pick up another type of body scrub or a sugar scrub, which is mine, can be used all over the body, but I want them to think, well, okay, but Alycia has doTERRA in it, and I know it'll be better for my body. You know, so look for ways to stand out and to represent yourself, because if you're not going to represent yourself, who is? Absolutely.
Because if you don't believe in it, nobody else will.
That's true.
So this has been great. Like I said, you know, that absolutely. And hopefully we can have you on again sometime soon.
For sure.
But as we wrap up, how can people get in contact with you to purchase your product?
You asked. Okay. So my website is sweetestpearlsugar, no spaces.com. And let me just plug also, this is not just for ladies. This is a non-gender biased product. I have plenty of male customers. People even use it sometimes on their children, especially the lavender, getting them settled down and things like that because of the purity. The purity of it. So ladies, just don't think, or gentlemen, whoever's watching, that's just for the females. No, it's not. It's not. It's okay to have glowing skin as a male. I promise.
And we want that, right? Because we don't want that man to be all ashy.
Crust is not cute. It's not cute at all.
Don't be coming at me with them ashy hands.
Exactly. And then for my Instagram, it is at sweet as, and then brown BRWN SGR 78. please follow me because that's where I post my promotions. I do helpful tips because I want people to have an informed, know how to use my product correctly so that they get the most benefit out of it.
Absolutely.
And Facebook is just Alycia Clarke with an E.
Love it. Love it. So I am going to post all that below in case you didn't catch it, so that you can have it, so that you can follow up with Alycia. Listen, her scrubs are amazing. I use them religiously. I mean, I have them in both my bathrooms and they are just amazing. And also your tea tree one is just so good, especially for, that exfoliation. So good. So definitely reach out to her, get in contact with her. Her scrubs are absolutely amazing. You will definitely enjoy them. And listen, make sure you subscribe to this YouTube channel so that as we bring on more guests, more women of empowerment, you can be notified. Click the bell so that you can be notified when I upload more videos or when I go live. And if you have a product or service and you want to be featured on here, listen, reach out to me and we can see if we can collaborate and maybe we can work together and bring you on as well. So reach out to me. My contact information is also below. And again, if you are one of those persons who you're looking to build your business, you're just not sure where to start, you're coming out of a relationship, either a relationship with your past job or your past spouse, and you just want to then now start building your next level. I am Coach Tanya, and if you can become a part of my Boldly Empowered Academy, where we teach you exactly how to do that from beginning to end. And once you get through this academy, you will have a business in place where you can start making money. So that information you can click below and you can schedule a call and we can kind of talk and see how we can actually work together. So until next time, you guys have an amazing day. And as usual, be awesomely you.
Bye.
Woo!